Welcome back to Move Skill. We've spent a long time, years, building up a collection of toys. We have a lot of toys that we like. It's not really about those toys though. Fancy barbells and bumper plates and kettlebells, and we've got a lot of that stuff. You, or all of us, have to start off working with what you have. And if you're limited on time, limited on space, limited on money, or you just go out to the park to do your workout, or for whatever reason a collection of barbells and plates isn't on the menu for you, perhaps here's one tool that we like a lot: a sandbag. You can do a lot with a sandbag. It's a pretty forgiving tool. This particular one we bought online. You can build your own. I'll show you a couple of options in a minute, but what can you do with a sandbag? How do you replace a barbell with this? It's hard to get the exact functionality of a barbell. The advantage of barbells in general is that we can make these little incremental changes up or down to the weight that you're using. That's pretty nice. You can add some weight for max strength. We can take some weight off for conditioning. Sandbags typically are a little bit harder to adjust. What we'll do is, like in this bag, we have some sub bags that hold increments of weight. You can play around with the recipe. You'll have a hard time getting a 300-pound sandbag for your deadlifts, but if you're creative, you can solve a lot of problems. So let me show you a few movements that we can do with sandbags. For a deadlift type motion, typically we'll straddle, and there's nothing exactly magic here about the way I put my feet. Put the feet so that you can control this load that you're doing. And you could do, let me show from the side, you could do a lift more in the front. Sometimes the bag structure itself will get in your way a little. That's not really a big deal. You can make that work. You can also get creative and lift from the side. So suitcase deadlifts, single-sided deadlifts. So there's a lot of options with how you hold it, and you'll find that the training effect varies, and so you can play around with this and get some more variety in your training. Or perhaps if, for instance, you suspect that you're kind of weak in the middle, throwing some unequally loaded movements into your routine is a smart way. So you can learn to doctor things a little and get an effect you're after. Let me show you some more dynamic stuff here. I can, again, swing. So with a little bit lighter sandbag, again, depending on what you're trying to accomplish, you can change the loading around and you move this thing around for conditioning. Let me show you some clean type movements where I'm going to use hips primarily to drive this bell up, or bag in this case, and get under it. Maybe be careful throwing this down if you're doing that in an apartment. You might make some real serious enemies of your neighbors. But moving this stuff around like this, you can approximate cleans, jerks. I can shift my grip a little bit and drive this thing overhead. Shifting shoulders if I feel like doing that, or up and down on the same side. There's only a few principles that really matter a lot. One of them is going for the range of motion that you intend with this movement. The big ones that'll get you in trouble are, or constitute good athletic training, working with your neutral spine, just like we would with any other tool, and using your hips properly. If you get into bad mechanical positions, you're going to start having chronic pain issues, but the sandbag doesn't work any differently than any other tool in that regard. So you can press, you can clean, you can swing, you can lift. I'm racking my brain here for anything else, but really it's the imagination is the limit, right? So let me show you real quick a couple of other tools. This, like I said, is a purchased bag. But here we have a couple of inner tubes. Sometimes inner tubes are hard to find nowadays with a lot of tubeless tires, but if you ask for a truck inner tube, you can get a truck inner tube. Cut these so that the stem is gone. You don't want that thing poking you. Put some increment of sand, 10, 20, 30 pounds in here. Double the tube over on itself and secure it all with wire ties. Lots of duct tape to keep your hands from getting torn up. And again, there's a lot of different motions. We can squat, you can press, you can swing. There's a lot of different options there. Unique requirement in this case is hanging on to this twisty, squirmy thing, and that's good stuff too. Working your grip and moving your hands in different ways is fantastic. So if you're creative, you can come up with, all you need is something heavy and a way to hang on to it, and a little bit of adjustability, and you can accomplish a lot. So good luck with setting up your equipment.